Hey Warriors, Sensei Lauren here. I wanted to take a second to explain the notebook. I've had a lot of question on this notebook and what these boards mean behind me, so I'm going to try to explain it the best I can and as short of time as I can. So when you all started Warriors, you should have been given a notebook. If you've lost that notebook, you'll have to go purchase yourself another one. It can be any notebook you want to. It doesn't have to be this one. You'll need to have your name on it. So first and very simply, I suggest setting it up this way. You don't have to. It's your notebook. You can do what you want, but this is a good kind of rule of thumb. On this first opening page, on this first opening page, you're going to want to have your components written down. So you're going to have components 1 through 10, and you're going to write them. How do you find out what component is what? Well, we have several ways. This is our monthly component schedule. There's a little red letter that tells you that this week is 3 and 5. If you look at our big calendar, it's also here. This red 3 and 5 are the components we're working on for this week. On this smaller one, we have listed 3 hand and arm techniques, 5 blocks. So you would write that just like I have here, 3 hand and arm techniques, 5 blocks. Next week is 4. 4 will be written here. You'll have the opportunity to fill in number 4. So this would get filled in slowly over time. Now, as I turn the page, I have a page for physical, a page for stances, which is number 2, a page for hand and arm techniques. So let's go to hand and arm techniques. So I have hand and arm techniques right here. What do I have written? Well, if you're a white belt, you're going to have your white belt requirements written. Where do I find those? This top section right here underneath the black is your white belt requirements. So because there's 2 this week, we have hand and arm techniques up here and we have blocks up here. Now this is orange belt. A white belt does not need to write down the orange belt or the yellow belt or the green belt technique. Why do we only go up to green belt? Because once you've gotten a purple belt in our system, you're invited to get a book. Why don't we give you a book? Because you have to take responsibility first. We want you guys to take responsibility for everything that you do in your books. We want your kids to learn to. You'll see a bunch of parents who will come take pictures of this. That's totally fine. I want you to take pictures of it and have your kids write it down. I don't care if it takes them a month to write it down. That's fine. This is good practicing for their schoolwork anyways. It's teaching them to take responsibility for their own requirements. It'll also help solidify what requirements they need to know. Why are knowing these requirements important? Well, when they test for their component stripes, which they're allowed to help me, and there is another video on component stripes. When they test for their component stripes, I'm gonna ask them, what are your requirements for component number 3? Say they come to me, Sensei Lauren, I wanna test for component number 3. They need to be able to show me. They need to tell me what component number 3 is, and they need to be able to show me their requirements written down. Why? Because responsibility first is the most important thing. Once they have this written down, I'm gonna ask them to show me those movements, and then they can earn their stripe. Hope this helps with how to set up a notebook. So we have 3, I have 4. You can skip pages as you need to, add notes. The rest of the book is totally up to you, but that's just a good idea for how to work this book. See you guys in class.